Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Jeremy Schumacher. I am a licensed marriage and family therapist. I'm the Jer in Wellness with Jer. Thanks for stopping by and checking out my channel today. Back with another song review. We're going to do maybe one of the worst couple songs, one of the best songs about the worst couple. This is a song by the Mountain Goats called No Children. I think it's oddly become one of their like smash, not like successes. They're still an indie band or whatever, but a lot of people know this song. A lot of Mountain Goat fans really like this song. It's a fun song performed live. Yeah, let's jump into it. It is a catchy tune. It's very short. There's a lot of stuff packed in it, though. So, No Children by the Mountain Goats.
I hope that our few remaining friends give up on trying to save us. I hope we come up with a fail-safe plot to piss off the dumb few that forgave us. I hope the fences we mended fall down beneath their own weight, and I hope we hang on past the last exit. I hope it's already too late.
Okay, I'm gonna stop right there. Man, what a good line. I hope the fences we mended fall down under their own weight. Like, that's just good songwriting. So this song is a song of someone in the couple is singing it and they're just miserable. Like, the whole song is miserable. It's a great song. I love the build, like knowing the song, having listened to the song, enjoying the band, the Mountain Goats. Being a fan, it builds so well, and like again, it's done really well live. Like, the crowd gets super into it. One of the things, I'm going to talk about music in general here for a second. One of the things that I think is fascinating about music, and one of the reasons that I, a therapist who has no musical talent, is talking about music so much, is because like music is one of those avenues that allows people to express their feelings in a socially acceptable way. I talk a lot about like stress relief, sports being stress relief. Like, sports are the way to hit something really hard in a socially acceptable way. Like, if I go and hit a volleyball, or if I have a baseball bat and hit a baseball, or cricket, or I'm into MMA or whatever, like, sports is about, there's a release of aggression, and music does that too. And this is one of those songs that's very cathartic. Catharsis is a word that basically means like pleasure and getting something out. So getting these strong emotions out, the person is just like taking all this like yucky, vile toxicity from their relationship and just being like, yeah, no, I'm gonna like look at the ugliness of it all and get it all out. So it's a very cathartic song in the sense of getting it out is maybe helpful, but like venting from a mental health perspective has diminishing returns is how I always describe it. So we know catharsis can be helpful within a limited time frame, but if we stay in catharsis, if all we're doing is venting, like you call one person and then you call another person, you call another person, you call another person, and all you want to do is like keep venting, like that actually becomes unhelpful and actually makes your emotional well-being worse. And so catharsis, venting, has diminishing returns, but sometimes it's helpful to get it out. Sometimes you just want to like get it out and kind of scream it away, or whatever. So this is basically a song that's like, hey, we're beyond repair, and just kind of taking a moment. And if the song went differently, I think it would be like a nice, beautiful moment to say like, hey, like, this is Stop and Smell the Roses when like you've stepped in dog poop. Like, it's not like a nice, sweet, like, life's full of joy and wonderment. It's like sometimes there's just shit. And like, this song is about stopping and taking stock of like, this relationship is shit and it's ending, and it can't end soon enough. And all the people who tried to save it and all the people who are rooting for us, like, you were wrong. So just like, I don't know, it's such a weird, it's silly to be like a fan and be like, this song can bring so much enjoyment to people. But I talked about it in my video about Necrogoblicon, and I'm sure it'll come up anytime I talk about metal. Like, there is some catharsis. Like, some things are angry, some things are out of our control. Sometimes we just need that space to be mad about something and not like have to feel bad or boxed in, like being mad is wrong somehow. So I love this song for that reason, even if it has no good information. Not that I should put it on a different level. Like, most of the love songs I've reviewed so far have no good information about relationships. So we're sticking to that theme, popular music.
And I hope the junkyard a few blocks from here someday burns down. And I hope the rising black smoke carries me far away, and I never come back to this town again.
Okay, I cut out before the first chorus, and I'm doing it again. But like, just again, like looking at all the memories, all these things, like anything we do with this relationship deserves to burn, and like I'm gonna get carried away on the smoke. So like, just getting out of this relationship. And again, I think there's some clarity that happens a lot when people finally decide to leave a relationship, and sometimes that's the right course of action. So if this relationship is that toxic, the idea of like being done with it and then getting to move on or getting to go away from it and just be done with it is delightful. And the song's called No Children. Like, this couple shouldn't have kids, right? And so it's one of those things where like, right, like I talk a lot about in therapy, I talk a lot in couples I'm working with, or various relationship structures I'm working with, that like a clean break is a nice thing to get. So like divorce or ending a relationship once you have kids, like, is inherently messier. It doesn't mean don't have kids. It just means like there's no clean break. Like, now you're with this person, whether you like them or not, whether you feel like you're in love with them or not, whether you want to parent with them or not, like you're in it with them for as long as your kids have a relationship with you, like at least for 18 years, if not more. So it's one of those things where like that clean break is nice, and that ability, that clarity that comes with like, I'm done with this relationship is unhealthy. Doesn't mean you have to be a jerk, doesn't mean you have to be mean to other people, but like personally, as a person who like ends that relationship, that can be like a sigh of relief, just kind of like an exhale after holding your breath for a long time. So that like dark kind of macabre imagery, but also like healing in there. Let's go to the chorus.
In my life, I hope I lie and tell everyone you were a good wife, and I hope you die. I hope we both die.
I didn't do a lyrics video. I just have the video up from the Mountain Goats. So I'm thrown off by not knowing where I'm at in my lyrics. The chorus, I hope you die. I hope we both die. Again, like, kind of sounds so dark, but like everyone dies, you know? Circle of life. We love this song in Lion King when it's uplifting, circle of life, we all die. But like when you're saying like, I hope you die, that sounds so bad. I hope I lie and tell everyone you were a good wife. Like, that's brutal. I love the piano in this song because it's I've talked about this before. I should just do a review of The Entertainer by Billy Joel, because this is my go-to like happy sounding song that has just very dark lyrics. This should be like a metal song. I think Julian Baker does a really good cover of it. Like, I don't know, it's such a weird, that dichotomy between like happy sounding and then like very dark or kind of sad, somber lyrics. I just, like, my brain loves the polar opposites of this song. So yeah, the not a happy relationship, probably a good thing this one's ending based on what we know from the song so far.
I hope I cut myself shaving tomorrow. I hope it bleeds all day long. Our friends say it's darkest before the sun rises. We're pretty sure they're all wrong. I hope it stays dark forever. I hope the worst isn't over. And I hope you blink before I do. get sober. And I hope when you think of me years down the line, you can't find one good thing to say. And I'd hope that if I found the strength to walk out, you'd stay the hell out of my way. I am drowning, there is no sign of land. You are coming down with me.
Okay. Not a super clean break on my pause there. That's why I have a video editor. It's, I guess I want to talk about kind of, I hope I cut myself shaving and I hope it bleeds all day. I don't like this, and I'll talk about it. That's why I do reviews for songs, right? So I can extrapolate wildly. Self-harm is not a good thing. Even I think in this way, it's not, I don't know, it's not like Papa Roach, like last resort. Like it's not edifying, or it's not building up like self-harm or self-injury as some sort of good thing. But this idea of like punishment, or this idea of like deserving pain, or again, the imagery of the song is kind of like, not that he's saying like I want to hurt myself. He's kind of saying like some sort of deserved inconvenience, like cut myself shaving. Like for those of you who maybe don't shave or haven't experienced a cut, good for you if you never cut yourself shaving. It's like a mild inconvenience. It's like not a ton of pain. It's just a little bit of like a nick or a like twinge of pain, and then like, yeah, it can be inconvenience to bleed for a long time. I somebody who shaves my face, although you wouldn't be able to tell currently based on the beard, but I do shave sometimes, not very often. And so those nicks and those cuts, those things can kind of be inconvenient. But I will say like the tone or the idea of deserving pain, or like punishing yourself for some sort of perceived failure, like this relationship failed and so I should punish myself. That's not what I think he's getting at. I don't think that's what the meaning of the song here is, but I do want to speak out against it because I think it's sort of like that self flagellation. I don't know if I can use that word. I mean, from a religious trauma background, and like imagining like that old school monk who's like whipping himself because he's sinned. Like that's so toxic and that's so unhealthy. Like there isn't, things go bad, things go wrong, things happen, things outside of our control. Relationships are almost always outside of our control, and we're very uncomfortable with the reality of like somebody could leave us at any time. You could be a great partner and your partner could leave you. Like the idea of relationships as some sort of secure thing like just doesn't exist. It's a fantasy, it's a myth we all kind of like to convince ourselves of. And I have the unpleasant role often of reminding people of that while I'm doing therapy, of like, well, right, like you trusted your partner based on nothing for years, and then they cheat on you, and now your trust is broken, so you're not trusting them. But like the act of trust doesn't change. So it's one of those like unfortunate things. I'm way off topic here. Non-suicidal, self-injury, self-harm, like that's a thing. People will cope by causing pain or injuring themselves. It's unhealthy. Your brain actually over time rewires like how many endorphins get released, and so that can be unhelpful. If your brain or your body is processing injury over and over again, your body kind of adapts to it, and in that way it can be unhealthy because your brain releases endorphins when you're feeling pain. It's kind of like your own anesthesia. And so like non-suicidal self-injury can be harmful because your brain starts to like tinker with that. Your brain adjusts, and then your brain isn't releasing the right amount of endorphins for a real injury, for like pain that occurs naturally instead of self-inflicted. And so that can be problematic, and endorphins can be released a lot of ways without introducing harm to yourself, without cutting or burning or hair pulling or picking. Those are kind of common ways. There's a lot of other like a lot of ways for self-injury that can release endorphins. A lot of people are restricting their eating or their fluid intakes. Like that's unhealthy too. Like don't punish yourself for a relationship ending. We can learn from it, and I think grow from relationships ending, but punishment isn't necessary. If failure doesn't require like a punishment, the consequence is that like the relationship is ending and there's not extra punishment. So wanting to talk about that, I went down a little bit of a rabbit hole. So yeah, back to the lyrics here. I think really interesting in the sense of our friends say it's darkest before the sun rises. Like that makes me think of all sorts of funny Batman memes from The Dark Knight Rises, or just The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises. Christopher Nolan's movies were really great when they came out, and they haven't aged super well. One of those like tropey things that people say, like the night's darkest before the sun rises. Like for a couple, that's like wrapping up, or like this person's out the door, right? Like this person is like divorce papers are filed, like they've split, they're separated, they're done. They're just processing kind of their anger at the toxicity of the relationship. Some of those like tropey things are like there's still a chance, or like sometimes that's not what people want to hear. Sometimes people are done and just need to be affirmed or validated in being done. And so that's kind of the anger that's coming out here is not necessarily about the relationship itself, but maybe some of the unhelpful feedback. We're pretty sure they're all wrong. I hope it stays dark forever. I hope the worst isn't over. Again, like calling out some of that self punishment, some of that like unnecessary dragging out, or like I need to harm myself or feel pain because of this ending poorly. I think that's unnecessary. I don't agree with that. I think that's where a lot of people's heads go. So the song as an artistic expression, I think, is accurate. Is regulate your system, have grace, self-compassion for yourself, self-soothe. Like that's what your body and brain need in this moment. It's not adding more pain. Like adding more pain to the situation doesn't actually make anything better. Our brain kind of tricks itself into liking the endorphin release, but it's not a healthy way to go about that. I hope I never get sober. Like again, not helpful. Substance use, going through a breakup or any sort of high stress isn't beneficial. Substance use is a recreational activity, can be a fun and positive experience, not as a stress reliever. It's unhealthy coping in the same way that non-suicidal self-injury is unhealthy coping. Smoking, substance use, I guess. But not always. When I'm working with somebody who's doing like self-harm, not from suicidal ideation, but just as a coping skill, like cutting your skin and smoking cigarettes are the same in that context. Obviously, sharp objects and skin carry inherent risk, and so that's riskier than smoking. But like we know smoking's bad for you. It's taking years off your life. So it's certainly not a safe activity. It's just the consequence is much further down the line. But the way the brain gets to those things that we know are unhealthy for us and we're still doing them for coping is the same way. So that substance use doesn't solve anything. It usually creates more problems, no resolution, more problems. But in the moment, it's numbing, or it's taking the edge off of the pain. And so our brain likes that reduction of pain seems worthwhile. But in the long run, anything beyond that short, immediate term is not a benefit, and therefore not a benefit in the short term either, because it creates more problems than it solves, because it doesn't solve any. It's kind of like punting. It's for pushing something down the line and dealing with it. Those emotions, that stress, that negativity that you're maybe trying to numb comes back once you sober up. So like the substance use does not accomplish anything. Substance use in high stress scenarios or in negative emotions, I don't like the phrase negative emotions. Emotions are neutral. But when dealing with a lot of this heavy stuff and not feeling like you're in a great headspace about it, substance use makes it worse, just across the board. So sobriety, never getting sober in this context doesn't sound like a healthy mindset. Although, again, the song is all about the toxicity of ending a relationship. The lingering toxicity of ending a toxic relationship.
Hand in unlovable hand, and I hope you die. I hope we both die.
Yay, everybody claps and cheers. I'm going back a little bit because I broke up the song and the wrong way, because like I said, I don't have the lyrics in front of me. Going back to before the last chorus, well, I hope when you think of me years down the line, you can't find one good thing to say. And I hope that I found the strength to walk out. You'd stay the hell out of my way. Again, like this is ending a toxic relationship doesn't mean that it becomes healthy. So what separation and divorce typically looks like is not that we've learned new healthy coping skills. It's that we can't deal with each other. And so we're limiting the way in which we deal with each other and how often we have to deal with each other in the hopes that that can be somewhat functional, not that like it gets better. And so like if I found the strength to walk out, I'd stay the hell out of my way. Like that doesn't usually happen that way. Like whatever problems existed in the relationship still exist when the relationship ends. And that's why like a clean break can be such a nice and helpful thing, because now we don't have to deal with them. There's no reason to deal with them in the future. So we don't have this overlap. But if there are things like having kids or having custody or whatever, then we don't get to totally be done with it. And then the song just ends very weird to like say the song is an anthem, but again, like kind of the way it gets played in concerts and how much people like to sing along to it. You were coming down, I'm drowning, you're coming down with me, hand in unlovable hands. Again, like fantastic songwriting. Shout out to the Mountain Goats. If you're unfamiliar with Mountain Goats, love them. They're like an indie band in the sense that like maybe there aren't a ton of songs that you're going to be like, love this song. But like listening to albums, I'm biased. They have a song that, or an entire concept album. Shout out to concept albums. Love them. They have a whole song about, it's called, a whole album called Beat the Champ. And it's about pro wrestling. And it's about the lyricist writing about basically a love letter to like territory wrestling in the 80s, like Chavo Guerrero Sr.'s in a song, like talks about chair shots and cheating behind the ref. Like it's just a love letter to pro wrestling, which is great because I love pro wrestling. So the Mountain Goats are great. This is, I would say, probably their most popular song, oddly. But they have a lot of great songwriting. This is a very well written song. The message is dark and there's next to no useful messages coming out of it other than it's just catharsis, which we know catharsis has limited utility. But what a fun song, a way to get some of the anger and angst and yuckiness out. Sometimes it's just getting it out is the healthy thing to do, so then we can look at it and do something about it. And ending this relationship seems like a good idea, not dragging it out. So a fascinating song. I think really an interesting look at kind of a relationship ending and what it looks like to be going through that process. I know I've been doing a bunch of breakup songs recently because in a way they're more useful than the love songs. They're more realistic than the love songs, I guess. I tell people regularly as a marriage therapist, like I'm the least romantic marriage therapist there is. Like I break down romance very scientifically and talk about how like romance is inefficiency. Like that's all it is. And we like it. We've ascribed meaning to it. But yeah, I mean, the Mountain Goats are great. Check out the Mountain Goats. I'm not going to do a whole review of Beat the Champ, even though I love that album. I've thought about doing album reviews for my 30 subscribers here. Because I want to review Pink Floyd's The Wall and not just do one song from it because of how great the entire album is. But Beat the Champ's great. The Mountain Goats are great. This is off their album Tallahassee. So check that out in addition to this one good song. And they're super fun live. So if you get the chance to see them live, I would totally recommend that as well. So this has been No Children by the Mountain Goats. I'm Jer. Thanks for stopping by, checking out the channel. Like, subscribe, YouTube things. Peace out, everybody.